What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. In this one, there's going to be some big changes coming for the workshop. In the last video, you guys saw us get the Laurel all sorted. It's currently warming up now, letting oil go through the motor, and we're about to do an oil change on it. We put some cheap stuff in there before. We're going to drop it out, change the oil filter, put a bottle of Maury's in it, and then some good oil. And then this is getting taken away tomorrow. And then hopefully, I think Monday or Tuesday next week, I'm filming this on a Friday, it's going to be getting shown. We're going to be bringing my S14 back here too. But as I said, there's going to be some big changes coming to the workshop. It's going to be a bit of a mission, but it's going to be way better.
2 for 2, you're going to get away with no oil on the hands?
I hope so, because this oil's
hot
going to be hot.
Freezing chat for Joel's hands.
Yeah.
You did it.
While the oil was draining out of it, Anthony's going to take this pipe off. Downside to running the stock plenum with running a top mount turbo is you have to do the intercooler piping like that, and it means you can't get to the oil cap.
Did I just put on the special front facing plenum that's on the 20?
That monstrosity.
Oh, you ruined the bumper.
Probably should have taken this off.
I was attempting to get the mad clip and you ruined it. I feel like there's slightly too much camber. The coilovers are max as well though.
Yeah.
You know what I say to your rip wheel? On the face. Yeah. Low cartings.
Yeah.
I forget this thing's a wee bit more sacked than my one was.
Yeah, just a bit. Just changed the oil filter out. We've got a brand new one on there. First up, it's a bottle of the good stuff. God's gift for RBs.
The Maury's.
Stuff's so thick.
It's like honey.
Yeah.
I wouldn't taste as good as honey, but you don't know until you try.
So we got a litre of that in. It's just a standard sump, so they take about 4.5 litres. Pour about 3 or so litres of this in there, and then we'll check the level after a few minutes.
This car's getting all the good stuff. Penrite, Maury's.
Yeah.
This thing will be invincible. Basically forged now.
Oil change on the Laurel is done. We've gone out, had some dinner, had a drink or two. Now we're back. We are going to be completely rearranging. We are going to be completely rearranging this whole place. Initially, we've had it set up so we have the racking of parts along the sidewall, and we've got the 2 workbenches at the back. We're going to be switching it up, so the pallet racking is actually going to go along this back wall, and we're going to put these 2 workbenches along the sides. We're going to have one roughly where the sim is now. We're going to have the second one sort of about there. And the idea behind this is to have all the storage at the back of the workshop. Since we have the 2 workbenches sort of in the middle of the shop, it's going to make working on third car a little bit more practical, because at the moment we don't really have a workbench space up here aside from this piddly ass table. So it'll be good to have both the workbenches sort of in the middle of the shop, and we can work on 3 cars at once pretty easily. And it also means that all of the storage out the back and out of the way. I'm just going to set a time lapse up while we make an absolute mess of this place, so enjoy the carnage. So we've been slaving away for about an hour now, and we've made a huge pile. I said the same thing when we moved in here. I forgot just how much crap I have, and this has probably got another quarter on that because of all of Anthony's stuff. We've moved this workbench to here, these cupboards here. This is roughly how that's going to be. Anthony's chilling up there. We're going to start moving these along the back wall now. We're probably going to dismantle that one. I've actually got 2 more orange beams out there that I want to chuck into that one to make an extra shelf. And with this one that Anthony's currently sitting on, we're going to try and move that as one unit, sort of like bring it out to here, and then send it down the middle of the cars. It'll probably go under where that LZ MFG banner is. It's been a bit of a mission, so we're probably going to take 5 or 10 minutes and then get back into it.
Right, so it's been a bit... Me and YouTubing and stuttering goes great. So it's been about an hour and a half now, and we have moved those shelves to the back. Workbenches are now on either side of the workshop, and it's a bit more roomy now, eh?
Yeah, give me 5 and a few vapes and we'll get a 4th win.
Yeah, it's been a bit of effort.
So another few hours on from the last update, and we've made a huge dent, but this place is still a bit of a tip. We've still got parts everywhere. We've got the sim that we don't know what we're doing with, but we put the racking up down the back here. We've started putting a lot of the parts back on. This section right here is for Anthony's S14. I've got my 2 RB25 deck heads here. These are cams for this head. This is the crank and cradle for this head. We've got the 2 25 decks down here. That block is for that head, and that head is for this block down here that still has the crank and cradle in it. It's my 30 deck. We have brakes here, clutches here, starter motors, alternators, A31 C33 drive shaft, bunch of spare axles I got here. All the diffs are down here. We got subframes here. That shelf is for Anthony's Laurel. We've got the graveyard of blown shit, 3 broken gearboxes, 2 blown diffs, a bunch of axles, some front cuts for Anthony's S14. We've got this stuff all here, which pretty much a majority of this is for the giveaway Safiro. We've got the engine for the giveaway Safiro here. If you guys are OG, this is the 20E out of my R33, my little Kaikoura hack. That thing seized, but it may make a resurrection someday going into something. And yeah, still got a lot to do, but we're gonna call it tonight here. So we'll pick this back up probably some stage tomorrow when either we're done with this or we take the Laurel away and bring my S14 in. It's a new day. We're at my parents' house. They're currently moving out. They've been building a house for a while, and I think it's like about a month until they actually move into it. But yeah, they're moving out of this place. I've been storing my blue S14 here for the last few months since we moved out of the sheds. Yeah, we're trying to get it on the trailer. We've got 3 flat tires, and the only way to really get it up, because we don't have a winch, is ratchet strap, painfully slow. It'll be resurrected one day.
This car will be gangster.
Wait, are you calling it an SR gangster?
Well, if you do go along with your idea, yes. But I'm also calling you gangster because I get to drive it.
So we're at a little bit of a crossroads. We pulled the car up way too far over this side. We don't want to let it down and have to try and drag it back up. So I've got the jack under there with a bit of wood on the subframe. What we're trying to do is jack the back of the car up so we can slide it over. But this is all the movement we have.
Your facial expression just looked a bit, how you going there, mate?
Yeah, this is difficult.
I reckon that's going to be enough now. That wheel's barely on there.
Yes!
Didn't just do that. Yeah, that's way better. Successful.
We may have been stupid in getting ourselves in the predicament in the first place, but problem solving. What a mission the last 24 hours have been through, spending about 6-7 hours last night, rearranging the workshop, helping my parents move this morning. We finally got my S14 in the parking lot here, just temporary, till I can find a better spot to keep it. But we're about to load Araki's Laurel up, take it to Nathan's, and then go to Anthony's and grab my S14 and bring it back here. And we've still got quite a bit of organising to do in the workshop, but yeah, mission's on.
No, mate, it sounds great. What are you talking about?
Laurel's all loaded up, about to head to Nathan's, drop it off, and then go pick up my car.
pure sensei.
This video is very mismatchy, lots of different locations, different shit going on, but we dropped the C33 Laurel off. It's first time seeing this hunk of shit in the last couple of weeks, so we'll see if it starts up.
I've looked after it. Still lives.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Looks like shit.
Definitely sounds better than the C33 at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that?
That's a stall.
Mate.
It's the next day on, it's Sunday. I'm filming this probably about an hour before this video is actually gonna go up. I've made a lot of progress today with tidying everything up. The S14's now in the workshop. I've got a bunch of parts here that are either junk or for sale. So if any of you guys see anything here that you might want, take the knife out. That's not for sale. We got four stud brake rotors, a 4-stud hub. We got some sway bars, some strut bars, clutch fan, S14 rear half for a drive shaft, polyurethane subframe bushes with locking collars, couple of stock S14 arms, couple of adjustable arms here. I can't remember the exact name of these. They're not the camber or the toe arms. They're the front arm that you never actually really need to adjust, but got a couple of these for sale. Still not entirely sure where the sim's going, but yeah. This workbench over here is now tidy, organized. This one is not. The whole back section's all pretty organized now. We've got all the bins laid out. A lot of them are actually empty. Pulled a lot of the crap out of it and yeah, just done a lot of organizing. Everything is so much neater now. We've got so much more space for parts. Like that's half empty. That one's only 3/4 full. This one's only half full. This one's literally just got a Saphira cluster on here. I'll actually sell this too if anyone's interested in it. It's one of the rear ones that goes to 9,000 RPM. Probably never gonna need it, so yeah. This top shelf is pretty much empty as well, and we need to get a couple more of these like little grate things that sit in between the shelves to actually hold stuff, because we added in a couple more beams, so yeah, we've got an extra shelf now. But yeah, we just need a couple more of those grates to actually be able to put stuff on. A lot of this stuff is all Anthony's S14. This side is pretty much Anthony's at this point. Got to tidy up this workbench. It's still real messy, but we're actually going to be moving this S14 soon. I wanted to chuck it in at the end of this video, but we're not going to be able to move it and for me to edit into the video in time for it to go up tonight. But yeah, a couple of Anthony's mates are coming by, and between the four of us, we're actually going to pick it up, move it to here, sort of twist it around and put it back in with the front facing this way, and move it a little bit over, and it'll be sitting further back, sort of in line with where the Saphira is. We'll move the tire rack back a little bit, and this is like the perfect spot for the welding gear and the air compressor to sit. This is actually my old man's air compressor. Once they move into their new place in about a month's time, he'll be scraping that back, but yeah, we need to get an air compressor of our own, and that's probably where it's going to go. Overall, I'm super happy with the changes to this workshop. It feels so much bigger in here now, and it's a lot brighter. With the racking now at the back, it allows the light to reflect off the white wall a lot more. Again, just making it brighter and just makes the place feel a little bit bigger. The workbench doesn't stick out as much as the racking did, so we've got a lot more width to the workshop as well, which is a good thing. We've lost like a tad bit of length, but that doesn't matter obviously because we never have 3 cars in here and there's a lot of space in between the two of them, even with this being so far this way. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Coming up this week, we're gonna be having a bunch of stuff going down with the Saphira, finally getting cracked into it, finally cracking into it. We're gonna be taking all the body panels off my S14 and finally start doing the paint prep on it so we can get that painted up in the next couple of weeks and not looking like a sack of shit. So cheers for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.